Hey, darling, I'll be right there. I'm just trying to share this link. This is new for me.
Okay, take your time.
Yeah, this is new. This is so new for me. U Q R. No, it's QHR. That's a big K. 3S forward slash. Ooh, Oracle Treehouse. Hi, Oracle
Hey,
Treehouse. Hey,
hey,
hey. um, well, let's see. Because I'm on YouTube
mm-hmm.
and I just sent the link out to the other people who have signed up via that option. Hi, Yolanda.
Yolanda, Bishop.
Yeah. So I like it
Hey,
because,
everybody.
hey, because at least it will record on YouTube and then anybody can have that link to see the replay. So
Oh,
yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm just gonna tell her because you can enter the email addresses of the people, and that's what I did. So let's if you have any issues, there you go. Alrighty then, I'm ready. Okay, the law of vibration. If at any time you can't hear me, please let me know. So the law of vibration states everything moves, nothing stands still. It can't stand still. This is the law as it is in its purest, rawest form. The law of vibration clearly states that everything moves, nothing stands still. That's the law. Now, what does it mean by everything moves? Thoughts move, words move. We call them vibrations, right? But what's vibrating? That is the question. What is vibrating is light. This is why people say that we're light beings, right? We are light. So that's what's vibrating. The light is vibrating. So when the light vibrates, depending on what speed it's vibrating at, it will give off a color. People say, oh, we can read auras. They're looking at the color of what your vibration is. So because everything moves, it comes down to that light. That's it. This is why science will tell you that matter doesn't really exist. It doesn't really exist because it's those light waves that come into contact with each other because they're moving at the same rate and they create a form. And the form that they create is the form you tell it to create. Ruminate on that for a moment because it's just light. It's just light. I'm going to pull up my note here so that I um hmm she can't get on there. La. Now how do I get that there? Hmm. Bear with me, y'all. Okay. Now that we're here, she'll probably communicate with me again, but that's okay. So we're going to now learn how the vibrational set point is formed. That vibrational set point, which means the rate at which your light body is moving at, because remember, everything is light. People say everything is energy, but that's not the case. It is light. It's only light. And the reason it's set at a particular level is because whatever you were born into, whatever that vibration is that you came into, that's the set point. So if you find, here's an example, if you come across people who you say, oh, well, they're really positive, they're really upbeat, they're really this, everything seems to be going well for them, they have a lot of luck. That's a high vibrational set point. That has to do with how they came in. So that's the set. That's where they're set at. But the good news is, what if you didn't come into a vibration that was of that height? What if it was a little bit lower? You know, some people struggle more than others. What if you came in at that set point? The good news is you're not stuck at that set point, right? So, does that make a little bit of sense before I continue? You can let me know.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Because remember, we're light and we're always moving. Let me give you this image. You got a pot of water. You put it on the stove and you turn it to 7. 7 is where you've set it. So now the molecules, as they start to vibrate, because that's what happens to water, the water molecules, when you agitate them with the heat, they vibrate and they stay at that 7. So that's how you can set your stove to either simmer or boil. Simmer is going to be lower. It's going to be at a 5. The bubbles don't break in a simmer. But at a boil, the bubbles come to the surface and they break because the temperature is higher. The set point, the vibration is moving faster. I trust that image, that mental image of boiling water, because you're the pot with the water in it. You're the pot with the water in it. And so now your vibration, how you feel about a thing, this is why it's important to recognize what you're feeling, because what you are feeling has its own vibration. What you feel has its own vibration. And so your body will register that feeling and say, ooh, I feel good, or ooh, I don't. Now you can have a clear picture of, oh, that doesn't feel good. Once you assess how something feels, you can make a determination. You can say, okay, do I want to feel this way or do I not want to feel this way? What is this telling me? Always to ask that question, because when you can recognize where the vibration is, because your body will always tell you, it'll always tell you what you're dealing with. So when you recognize what the vibration is based on how it feels, well, then we can do something about it, right? So I'm going to recap before we move on. That set point for your vibration has to do with where you came into the world and how you came into the world. Because you have a signature. Your light is moving at a rate of speed. 60 kilometers, 70, 50, 40. You came in at that set point. So then that's where your life is. So all your experiences will have to match that set point that you came in at. And that set point, some people call it, oh, well, that's your karma from a past life. But the problem with saying karma is you can't really, quote unquote, change your karma, but you can change your vibration. That's why when you say karma, karma is one of those words where it doesn't really explain anything other than what you did, you get back, which is the law of correspondence. So how you came in is where you've been set. Now, if you do nothing to change it, that is where you will remain. So when you relinquish your body and you move on, you will have to go to a place or a vibration that matches you. That's there's no easier way of saying it than that. The vibrations always have to match, right? So that's how you came in, and that's your set point. Now, where is that set point? Do you find that life is easy for you, or do you find that you really have to fight, that you have to struggle? Where is that? What have you noticed about your life? Well, things come easy, or you find that, I'm stuck, or I can't seem to get past this part. That's your set point. That's where you're at. You now consciously can be aware to say, oh, okay, I see where I'm at. So I struggle, or I have it easy, or I'm right in between. You have to pay attention to that to figure that part out. I can't do it for you. You will see it. You'll see it because you're the one living it, right? So when you recognize that part, now you have a choice to make. What are you going to do about it? Where am I on my list? How to change it. I'm right on target. How to change it. There's only one way to change the vibration, and that is through the thought, because it is the thought that has its own vibration. So if the thought you are thinking does not feel good to your body, you change the thought. But Angela, that's not easy to change the thought. It just depends on how long you've had the thought. That's all it depends upon. That's all it depends upon. Right?
Angela, I was going to say also, it's kind of hard to change the feeling too sometimes. I've noticed that with myself. Like the other day, I noticed I was like kind of down, I guess you could say. And I noticed it, and I was thinking good thoughts, but that feeling was still lingering.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know it's like because I'm saying, I'm used to it, but it's like I said, it was still lingering. Can you explain that?
Yes. The feeling, right? That's your body. Especially if you've had that thought for a long time, then that feeling is stored there because it is how you know what you're thinking, because you've done it before so many times. So in order to change that feeling, you have to be consistent with, now, how do I want to put it? You can get at it more than one way in essence. Let me put it this way for you. Remember, the thought creates the word and the word creates the action. But you can go backwards. You can start doing an action that will cause a word and it will stimulate the thought. It always will come back to the thought. Always. But you can use the action. So if you do something that makes you physically feel better, right? If you're doing something that physically makes you feel better, now the thoughts will follow that feeling because it's one connection. Does that make a little bit more sense?
Yes. Yeah, we're trying to move it. Yes, it does.
Because this is why I tell people, if you break it apart, if you say thought, word, action, you look like you have three things, but you don't. You only have one, and it is the thought. But because you are in a body, the thought has to create a word, And the word has to make you do something, but it is one motion, not three. So in order now to stimulate a new feeling, because that's what we have the capability of doing. If you say, "Ooh, I don't like that feeling. I've had that feeling for too long." Dr. Joe Dispenza says your body stores the memory of it. And that's fact. It stores the memory. So now to create a new memory, create a new feeling. So if that old feeling won't go away, you can't force it to go away. You have to create a new feeling. You have to create a new feeling. So we are really good at doing that, because if you think about it, we can get ourselves hyped up about something by simply talking to ourselves in a particular way and saying, um, "Oh, I can do this," or "I can do that." And all of a sudden you start to feel energized by what you're telling yourself. And the feeling in your body, now you begin to think, "That's right, I can do this." And you start to speak it. And then the thought comes, "What can you do?" And you do it. So having the ability to talk yourself into the feeling that you want to have is how you're going to go about it. And you have to be consistent with that feeling, because that feeling that you are generating is telling you what vibration you're on. That's the key. It tells you what vibration you're moving at, whether you're moving at a faster vibration or a lower vibration, right? Um, go ahead.
Oh, you're on mute.
Oh, because I thought somebody wanted to share something.
Oh no, I was just agreeing with what you said. I was also thinking too, music can do that, right?
Do you know why?
Music?
Yes. Do you know why music does that?
My mom always told me that music has spirit, so just be careful what you're listening to. That part, anything else. That part.
Say it one more time, Summer Rose.
I'm sorry, say that again.
Can you repeat what you just said?
My mom always told me about being careful about what you're listening to because music has a spirit.
And that spirit is the vibration. That is why music has the ability to get you like somewhat trance like. It's the vibration. It can raise you or lower you. Because if you notice, if you are in a low mood, you want to listen to what? Sad songs. Because why? The vibration matches. But if you are out and you're having a good time, well, you're going to listen to upbeat music because that's where your vibration is. So you see, this is why sometimes this like Maroon 5, they have a song, what the hell, I forget what the name of the song, but the music is upbeat, but the words are contradictory to the beat, to the vibration. And you find yourself singing it and you're like, "Wait, these two things don't match." I am in misery. There ain't nobody who can comfort me. Oh yeah, that's the song. The song is upbeat, the music is upbeat, but he's saying he's in misery. So now what ends up happening when that song is stuck in your head and you are saying, "I am in misery," and you're singing it over and over again because it's stuck in your head. Now what happens? This is why the words are also important, right? Because it has the ability to mask itself to influence your vibration. I want you to think about it for a minute. It definitely, oh, she's having trouble getting on. Uh, It's okay. I'll send her the link to join it later. But this is the issue. The vibration, which is, we want to call it the intent, because you can feel the intention of somebody. All you're feeling is the vibration. But we want to call, if we would call things their proper names, we would not be confused. It's not an intention, it's the vibration behind what that person is doing. That's how come you will know, oh, this doesn't feel right to me. That's the first thing you'll say. This doesn't feel right. But the words they're saying want to make you believe that they're saying something else. When in actuality, the intent is the vibration that runs beneath everything. So then you start to really get a sense of what's happening with vibration, because it's always happening. And how it works is, things that vibrate at the same frequency, because remember, they are light waves. Vibration, what's vibrating? That's the question that nobody has stopped to ask. We just say, oh, it's the law of vibration, but what is vibrating? Light. Light is vibrating. So if your light is vibrating at the same frequency or speed as mine, you and I have to meet. We have to interact. Now, what if there's 4 or 5 people with the same vibration? Well, then you have to come together. But it is that coming together of those individual light waves that form the unit. And that's what matter is. A bunch of light waves that are moving in the same frequency that take a shape. It is called cohesion. It sticks together. This is what's happening with the light waves. So we're so busy seeing each other as a body that we miss the big picture. The big picture is, you are this wave of light that is moving at a particular rate of speed. And that rate of speed is influenced by what you think, based upon what you see and what you hear and interact with around you every single day. Does this make sense? Before we continue, ask away so we can break it down.
Yes, I definitely have questions about that. As a highly empathic person, some people I get around, I just feel like shit after. How do you, can I think my way out of that, or what? I hope that made sense.
It makes perfect sense. Can you think your way out of it? Now we're on to the next point: how to raise your vibration at will, on command. You see, if you get around people, the practice here is to be in control of your own vibrational set point, meaning keep yourself at a particular rate as high as you can, so that when you go about your day, you're only going to interact with people who are as high as you are, but never lower, because you will run parallel to people who are not on the same level as you vibrationally. That's how it works. They will be parallel, because you cannot intersect with somebody who's not the same. So if your set point is, okay, look, today, this is where I'm going to be. This is my focus, because it has to do with the thought that you are focused upon. So if you're going into, if you know you have an interaction coming up, and you say, you know what, they're going to have to come up to my level. And you spend time just in quiet, and you conjure up what it is you want to feel like. We're going back to Oracle Treehouse here. That feeling. It's that level of, you get that high vibration if there's a level of excitement for what you are doing. So you raise your vibration so that when other people come into contact with you, you're the one who has set the tone, not you're following the tone. So that when you get around people, they don't drain you. So you have to be able to sustain that height, and that takes practice. So to practice it, to practice raising your vibration, it's a daily choice. It's a moment by moment choice. Like Oracle Treehouse said, if you're feeling sad and you can't shake that actual physical feeling in your body, you have to move the body. Move your body. Walk, dance. You must move the body. You have to stir it up. So now once you've stirred up the body, you can have access to those other thoughts. Now you say, okay, so what do I want my body to feel like now? Like, what do I want my body to feel like? And once you've made the decision as to what you want your body to feel like, as soon as you make the decision, your body will go to that direction. See, for me, I'm trying to put into words what I do. And sometimes that's a little tricky, but it is being consistent. If you say, okay, you know what, like me right now, I'm super excited about teaching this class because that's just the way it is. Once you can understand that you are this wave, if you see yourself as a wave of light, just imagine that's what you are. And every time you speak or you think, that wave of light is going to move in a particular direction and at a particular speed. That's you. So, what do you want to move like? Because you are that wave of light. There's no way around it. So, when you start seeing yourself as such, you're like, okay, I'm this wave of light. And if somebody comes along and upsets you, your first thought should be, ooh, what's my wave of light moving at now? Because I'm really annoyed. I'm really frustrated. And then you have to decide, do I want to feel that way? And if you don't want to feel that way, then it's a simple matter of rejecting what that person has done. You say, nope, not today. And you, as long as you stay there, I know it seems kind of weird, but it isn't. It is just one of those things. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. And then the kind of music you listen to, the kinds of shows that you watch, you'll begin to feel their vibration just by, even if you see the poster, you'll feel the vibration from that poster. If you hear the words, you'll feel the vibration of it, because it will either match you or it won't. Does that make sense? Let's dig it a little deeper. Ask away.
It makes sense to me. You had me thinking about what's it called? Cymatics. I don't know if y'all seen those YouTube videos where they take the sand and they do the sound, and the sound. You know what I'm talking about, Bishop? Yeah, yeah. That's what you had me thinking about when you were talking about us in the whole vibration thing.
But that's exactly what it is. That is exactly what it is. It appears to be sound. But light and sound are the same. It's just that light moves faster than sound because it vibrates faster. That's it. That's why you feel. That's why you feel. Because you're feeling the sound, the vibration of the thing. So, because vibration can either be seen, because we have eyes, or it can be felt because we have a body. But that's really the truth of it right there. When you, so then you are the sand. You're the sand then. So what's going to cause you to move? The vibration causes you to move. But instead of the sound coming from the outside of you to influence you, you have to be the one to master your own vibration. You have to be the one to master your own vibration, to move yourself, instead of having another vibration come along to move you. That's the danger. Does that make sense?
My niece, who's probably about 20, 21, is in school right now, and 5 young women have committed suicide in this one semester. And so there is a lot of sadness and confusion in that area. Like, how do you actually raise your vibration when everything around you seems so overwhelming? It seems so chaotic. Like, I know that she's concerned because she's like, they're not addressing these needs we have, in terms of emotional support, emotional health. So I'm like trying to help her to kind of stay above that area where everybody's kind of feeling, like I said, confused and kind of mad or whatever. So how do you help someone do it when they're in a space that seems so lonely and seems so, they're so, I don't know how to put it, but they seem so consumed by what's around them to raise their vibration alone and hopefully bring people around them and kind of build it up? What do you suggest there? You understand what I'm saying?
I hear you loud and clear. You know what it is? It is a deception. Remember this always. If you allow yourself, because it's all it is, I just had somebody message me and say the grief and the anxiety, Angela. And I said to her, there are only thoughts. It is simply because, you see what's happening? The thought is the same, it never changes. And because it is the same and it never changes, you are magnetizing that thought, that light wave. You're moving it at a particular rate of speed, right? That's all you're doing to that thought, because you're having it over and over and over again. Whereas they think the thought is the problem, like, oh, I can't break free. That is only a thought. But if you continually think you cannot break free, because that is the message that is being sent. This is why I tell you, give me a moment. Just bear with me a moment and let me give the right phrase. At this point, it is now become self-inflicting. Because as we know, the universe is a mental creation. And the thoughts that we have over and over and over and over again will influence the behavior. And the only reason they influence the behavior is because they are the same thoughts that are being percolated over and over and over again. And why is it so hard to break it? Because it has become a habit. You cannot break the old way of thinking. You must inject a new thought. Which means if you are sitting in your room and it is dark because you feel lonely and you are sad and you're fretting, oh no, I have no friends, that may seem trivial. It may appear to be trivial. But this is why I told you, Oracle Treehouse, you must move the body. If you get up and you go outside, the minute you go outside and that sun, if it's winter, it's okay. As soon as that cool breeze hits you and you inhale nice and deep, now you have broken the thought. You've broken the old thought. So you have to find a way of breaking the old thought with the new one. You have to move your body. But because we sit and we ruminate, you see, nobody actually wants to die. They just want their situation to change. And because they cannot think themselves out of the situation, that's why they resort to drastic measures, because they just want the torture to stop. But if they just would understand that the actual torture is coming from that one thought they keep having, that's the problem. You have to change to a new thought, and you have to consistently do it. And so here's the image that just popped into my mind. You're in the gym and you've got 500 pounds and you're lifting it, and you're struggling to lift it already, which is the thought. 500 pounds is the thought. And your coach comes over and says, "Oh, I'm going to add more weight." At some point, you have to make a decision to say, "No, I will no longer lift this weight." And you put it down. That seems, oh, but Angela, that's so insensitive. And it seems so easy. It's not taking into account what people are really dealing with. What people are really dealing with is a persistent way of thinking. And the more you persist in the way of thinking, you have to act it out sooner rather than later. Because the more you think it, the more momentum it builds. Because what you're doing with that light wave that you are, remember the pot of water. If you have a consistent 7 temperature on it, it is going to come to a boil. That's the only thing that's there that's creating that boil, is the consistent temperature, which is the consistent thought. So what do? You can either turn off the thought or remove the pot from the burner. But either way, you are removing the agitation, the friction, the heat. You must employ a different way of thinking. So you get up and you get out. You must. Because if you stay in the dark room, that only reinforces the thought that you're currently having. Right? But you can't medicate the thought. You can't medicate the thought, but you can talk your way through it. You can talk your way through it. Like I told Oracle Treehouse, you move your body or you speak to yourself, because you know what you're feeling, because the vibration is very clear and you know exactly what you feel. And so you say to yourself, okay, this is what's happening. The help is not coming from the outside, because everybody's busy trying to sort their own selves out. So when you talk to yourself, you say, okay, the help isn't coming from the outside, so I must help myself. The minute you say, I must help myself, you've now broken the thought, because you're not having the thought anymore, because you're busy now saying, I must help myself. So you see, it's something that you physically, I don't want to say it's a switch, because it isn't. It is the law of polarity. You have to turn away from what you currently know and what you're dealing with. This burden of thought is heavy. Okay, I feel like crap. And you know what? I want to feel better. I want to feel better. What can I do to make myself feel better? This is how you use polarity, because it's the vibration that will move you from being in the dumpster to not being in the dumpster. But you've got to, that's why I tell you, it's hard to say thought, word, action. It's one movement, because as you think it, you speak it, and you act at the same time. I don't like the way I feel. I feel like crap. I want to feel better. What can I do to make myself feel better? You know what? I enjoy doing this. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to get a shower and I'm going to go outside. And I know once I get outside, something will pique my interest. So you get outside and you move your body and you start interacting with other people. That is step 1. That is how you do it. This is how you talk to your, I think you said your niece, Summer Rose. That's how you change it. Because I can't tell you something that I don't do. When I feel that way, I throw off the covers. That's usually the first problem, you know. When the thought is heavy, you want to lay down because that's what you have the energy for. Because that's how much the thought weighs on you. You actually want to lay down. But when you lay down, you give in to the thought. But if you get up and you do something, you get up and you do something that makes you feel good. Use the law of polarity because the vibration will move you from not feeling good to feeling better. And you only need to feel better for 2 minutes because then something else happens and you feel better for another 2 minutes and then another 2 minutes and another 2 minutes. And before you know it, oh my God, you're feeling great. That's what I mean when I say practicing sustaining that feeling. You already know what's back there because it doesn't make you feel good. You already know. So there's no sense in looking at it. None whatsoever. You point yourself in the direction where you want to be, and the vibration will follow suit. It has to follow you. And so once you decide, you know what, I want to feel better. What can I do? I wish DC Honey were here because she's an artist. So she paints, she draws. If that's what makes you feel good, then you do it. It doesn't matter what the artwork looks like at the end. It just matters that you feel better now. Feel better now. All it is a thought. But if you don't know that, that's what will overwhelm you. Because you think that, oh no, this thing is so big, I can't deal with it. When in actuality, the thing is not big. It is only the thought that is persistent. So if you can have the courage to check your thought, remember, it's not, the thing only exists on the outside because of the inside thought. But what we do is fight the shadow on the outside. You can't fight the shadow on the outside because it will beat you every time. You're fighting yourself. So when the thought comes of I'm lonely, I have no friends, I want to die, when that thought comes, recognize what you're doing. You're shadow boxing because the room is dark. Nobody's calling you. Nobody's texting you. That is only happening because of the thought, the persistent thought that you're having. And that persistent thought, because you've been having it for so long, remember the light wave, it is now moving at a rate. Even though the vibration may be low, it's still moving fast. It's building momentum. And that's why you can't stop it in its tracks. It is moving too fast. So the only thing to do is to change to a different thought that doesn't have momentum. So now you can move that one. That's the difference between the two. And so does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does. Thank you for that.
Like, I understand when we are dealing with situations, we are in the thick of it. We are in the thick of it. It can be hard sometimes to stop yourself and go, wait, what am I doing? But if you can remember that the situation on the outside only exists because of the thought on the inside, if you can remember that when you are in the thick of it, then it'll make your pivot by way of the law of polarity. It'll make your pivot from what you don't want to what you do want a lot easier. If you can remember that the thing happening on the outside has only taken shape because of the light that you are. And because you are moving at that particular rate, all the other rates that match you have to come together to create the image you see. That image cannot exist without your attention. And how do you know that you have given it your attention? The vibration, how it feels inside your body. Let me be vulnerable with you, ladies. I sat for 2.5, 3 years and whined and bitched and moaned and complained about how much I hated my period and I wanted it to end. To the point as to where my good girlfriend would always say to me, even though, just yesterday, she says, that's what you would always say, just take out my uterus. That's what I said. For 3 years, I said that. What kind of vibration is that? And where am I headed right now? The 21st is my scheduled hysterectomy. So when you have a persistent thought, right? Then you have a persistent thought and you keep rubbing it because we do not see what we're doing. And because we don't see what we're doing, we don't see the harvest that we're bringing towards ourselves. Oh, it's just complaining. What difference does it make? All women complain. But no, all women didn't complain with this vehemence. No, because I hated it. You can't walk, I can't eat, nothing. It was the worst thing I had ever imagined. But here I was fighting against the law of rhythm, and I didn't even know it. The law of rhythm brings an ebb and a flow. There's nothing I can do about it. It's the law. I can't fight the law. The law is bigger every time. So my vibration was in such a place that it left me vulnerable to other vibrations that had to match what I was. So you see, I gave shape to something. I gave shape to my fibroid in my uterus. Some people say, oh, no, you didn't do that. That's just life. Is it? Really? The one thing that I was complaining about is now here to haunt me? Come on. There aren't any coincidences. That's why if people sit and think about death and dying, sooner or later they have to do it. Not because they want to, but that is how strong they've made that light wave that now it has to take shape to create the experience that you are projecting outward. This is what we do, and it is that vibration. It is that vibration, that feeling. The minute you, oh, I hate this again, really? That vibration, that way of thinking. Because the light waves have to match. This is, I told you earlier, matter only exists because of the light waves that match each other to take shape. That's why scientists are telling you that matter doesn't really exist. The light waves come together to form matter, a mass, an experience. That's what they come together to form. But they come together to form that based upon how you think. That's what it comes together to do. So, what are you creating on a daily basis? It's the persistence in the thought. The pot is on the burner and it is on a constant temperature, and the molecules are agitated. That's what causes the boiling. The molecules are being agitated, friction. So that light now is moving real fast. And because it's moving real fast with such passion from you, how do you get that passion? Because you keep thinking about it. And the momentum that you build up, that now contributes. Oh, I can't get my blood pressure to lower. Oh, I can't change my diabetes. It is a thought, and it is only happening to you because that is the predominant thought you're having. And now that the vibration is down there in an unhealthy state, what do you think is going to happen with the other unhealthy vibrations? They come together and they form your experience of diabetes. They form your experience of hypertension. They form your, this is why, listen to me. This is why, if you are told all the time, oh, you were so sick as a child, you were so sickly, and you're an adult now, and you're always sick. That vibrational set point for illness was set there. And because you haven't changed it, you are now vulnerable. Why? As within, so without. So whatever you match, you must come into contact with every single time. So if you want to change, now here's my challenge. Like I said, I'll be vulnerable with you. What's the point of hiding it now? It's my lived experience. I didn't know then, but I know now. So what am I doing now to help myself through this situation? I had to concede. I had to recognize, you know what? I brought this here. Fine. I accept it. So now that I know I brought it here, what am I going to spend my time doing? Am I going to spend my time complaining that I've been bleeding for 8 months? No, I can't complain because that'll make it worse. I know that now. So all of my time, my effort, my energy that fuel my thoughts go towards doing what I love doing, which is teaching, going outside and enjoying my life with my son. Oh yeah, damn right. Because I already know what the outcome is. It's not a surprise. You know the cause, you can predict the effect. Now, me, I'm simply reminding myself that anything can happen. I can go into surgery and she can be shocked and go, oh my God, it's not there anymore. Well, that's where my thoughts are, but not so much. This is why I tell you, you don't always have to think about the thing. If you're broke, don't always think about money. So for me, my focus is just on feeling good and doing what makes me happy, laughing lots, dancing lots. And this is why I told you back in the day, I did not have the strength to dance. I didn't. But I said, you know what? I am going to dance. I'm going to do it. That's what I said. I said, I'm going to dance. I'm going to have fun. And you know what happened? I started to have a little bit more energy every day. That's what happened to me. I started having more energy every day. And I was like, well, this is not a coincidence. I'm going to keep on this. And anytime I wanted, because like I say, when I can't work, like I can't have a job right now because physically I've been bleeding this whole time. 4 blood transfusions. I can't work. So I'm on medical leave. And what they give me can't pay the bills. And so I said to myself, This is not the way to live, Angela. So you already know what the problem is. You already know what caused it. But that problem had 3 years, 3 years of power behind it. And now, what all I'm doing is I get up and I say, what are we going to learn today, Angela? How are you going to practice the law today? How are you going to implement the law today? That's where I put my focus. Why do I put my focus there? Because I have to use the law of polarity. Because I know where I'm at and I don't want to be there. So I have to move myself incrementally, vibrationally. So that's the next point. And the final one, how to raise your vibration at will. It is a choice. I see what I'm dealing with. I'm the one counting down the days to my surgery. But I can't look there. I can't look there. So what do I want my vibration to be at? Doing what I love has the highest vibration for me. So that's what I do. Focus on it all day, every day. I talk to the all every day. And more, I have more energy. I'm more clear in my thinking. I'm more clear in my thoughts. And that's why I say you've got to move your body. Because if you give in to the thoughts that are heavy, you will lay down and you won't move. And truly, all you want is reprieve from them. So it is one thought at a time. I turn on my song. I have a couple of them. And I dance. And I sing the songs I love to sing. That's how you raise your vibration at will, on command. By doing the thing that makes you feel better. And how long can you do it? That's how you sustain the vibration. Do it for however long you can handle. If you can handle it for 1 hour, that'll make a world of difference. If you can do it for 5-10 minutes, that'll make a world of difference. You know why? Because the next time you raise your vibration at will, you can sustain it longer. That's the point that I'm trying to convey to you today with vibration. Your thought, every thought you have is moving. And your body will register and tell you you're either up here or you're down there. And you know as well as I know that if you're down there, you're open to a lot of things that are unsavory. Is that what you want? Well, then, what can you do? What can you think of to get you up? Now, what can you do to sustain being up there? So the next time you go into a room of people, this is why you practice every day. You cannot say, I did it and it didn't work. You must practice every day because the picture is bigger than you think it is. You think the pressure that's being applied right now is going to let up? No. So you better be strengthening your mind so that you can combat it. And the only way to strengthen your mind is to use it and to practice. So you find the thing that you enjoy doing because it makes you feel better. How long can you do it? And how long can you stay focused on doing it? That is what will keep you from being overwhelmed when the pressure is being applied from the outside. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yes, it does.
It absolutely does. Thank you.
Because remember these few things. Remember that when you are having a thought, whatever you're seeing on the outside that you're dealing with is a culmination of all those light waves that you have put together with your thoughts. That's what is on the outside of you. And the way to change it is to find a thought that feels better, because it's that feeling that tells you the vibration that you are set at. You don't have to stay at that vibration. So find the thing that you like to do and you do it. How long can you do it? And how many times a day can you do it? And for how long can you do it that many times in a day? That is how you maintain and foster your vibrational set point. And you see, this is why habits are so important. Because if you have the habit of raising your vibration at will, you know what happens to you? It becomes autopilot now, so that when you get around a situation, your body says to you, oh, you want to be up here. Let's get it done. And you raise yourself up automatically. But in order for it to become automatic, you must practice it so that it becomes automatic. That is how, and I can't talk about vibration without talking about the law of gender. Because the law of gender is such that it is the projections that are coming from the outside of you. Because yes, we are all individual light waves, but it's just one consciousness, right? So all those things that are coming at you, those projections, that's masculine. So now your subconscious mind is ripe and ready for impregnation. And if you do not have your vibration set the way you want it to be, you are now vulnerable to be randomly impregnated by somebody's projection because you match it. Because the projections, if you pay attention, the projections are of a low vibration. Why? How can I say that with such confidence? What does it come with? Fear, anger, frustration, angst. Those are not high vibrational things. So if you practice keeping your vibration, remember how to keep it there. Find something you like to do and do it. How long can you do it and how many times a day can you do it? That's what you practice. But in actuality, all you're doing is changing your thoughts and maintaining the thought, because maintaining the thought will maintain the vibration, because the universe is a mental creation. That's what you're doing, right? That's why I tell you, you can't break them out. You can't separate them. They're just one law, mentalism. So find that thing that you love to do and do it as many times throughout the day for as long as you can. Because when the projections of a low vibration come, you begin to feel it in the undercurrent and you're like, oh, I can feel that, but I am up here. That's the difference. That's why those things won't influence you. That's what it means to be in the world, but not of it. You can see these things as they're being projected, but because you hold yourself to a vibrational pinnacle, the low vibration, you run parallel to it. You won't intersect. You won't touch it. Not unless you lower yourself to it. Can it cause you harm? So find the thing that you love to do and do it as many times throughout the day and for as long throughout the day. So if you can do it for 5 minutes, build from 5 minutes. Oh, I can do it for 10. I can do it for 20. Next thing you know, you're up to 2 hours and you've maintained your vibration for 2 hours. And you know what? If you can maintain it for 2 hours, 2 hours and 20 minutes, 2 hours and 40 minutes. Next thing you know, you're at 24 hours and you're up here. That is what takes practice. So the next time you catch yourself saying, I can't change, this is too hard. If you catch yourself saying that, now you will know how to fix it. So be encouraged with that, because the world we live in is not going to get any easier, but you can make your existence easier. And the beautiful thing is this: if you do that for yourself, now the people, you will, because you're so strong at maintaining your vibration, you will help people. You don't even have to do it consciously. They will begin to come up to a higher level as well. Because why? You are set up there and you're not going to go down to them. It's not an us, them, it's a vibration. You know what is accompanying vibrations now. The lower, because you know what a low vibration feels like. Sucks your energy and you feel like crap. But a high vibration invigorates you and it energizes you and it gives you peace and tranquility. That's what it does. And so, because you know that now, you'll know what to do on a daily basis. The thing you see on the outside is just the shadow of the thought you have within your mind. And you can mold that vibration to shape anything by raising it. Because it will take the form of what you give it. That's what it will do. But you've got to practice. So that's why I tell people you do not entertain thoughts willy-nilly. You don't joke around with thoughts willy-nilly, because nothing will impress your subconscious mind or impregnate your subconscious mind faster than laughter will sometimes, you know. Fear, laughter, anger, oh, they'll impress the subconscious mind, because if something's funny, you will remember it. And a memory is in your subconscious mind. So don't do things willy-nilly. Red Fox always used to grab his chest and say, "Hold on, Elizabeth, I'm coming." And how did he die? That's correct. A heart attack.
For real? I didn't know that.
Yes. Look at Sinbad. Look at Sinbad. Sinbad has this joke where he always talks about, you know, because he was married twice to the same woman. And he always said, you don't want to get with a young one because they don't know the signs of stroke. They think you're making fun of them, but you didn't have a stroke. What happened to him 3 years ago? A stroke. Think about it. Say it. Go ahead.
No, I was just agreeing with you. Yeah. Oh, wow.
But you see, these things are not meant to frighten you. They're meant to show you what you are capable of and how you can harm yourself out of ignorance.
Angela.
Yes.
That's a form of self-healing. I sat here and listened to you explain that, and I'm like, well, she's technically talking about healing. You're pivoting your thoughts, the way you broke down everything, the way the mind body works, how I understand it when it comes to quantum physics and stuff. But yeah, you're healing yourself.
Took me, listen, I'm learning every day. I make it a point to learn because ignorance, and that's why I tell you that we want to call it the universe, but the law does not reward nor does it punish, but ignorance doesn't absolve you of it either. And that is the biggest harm that we do to ourselves. Ignorance. And we don't even know. We don't even know that it's what we're doing. But we sit here and we browbeat ourselves and we speak to ourselves in such a vile fashion. But what we are not noticing is those light waves that we are taking shape according to what we direct it towards. That's what we're doing. And so I looked around at the rooms today and I see some of these rooms and they're so full. We got some rooms have 300 people. And I said, what? Why then? And I had to check myself. You see, because the people who want to change, the people who want to grow, who want to understand, who are not looking for a flash in the pan entertainment, they're the ones who find me. That's why you are here. Because you genuinely want to change your life. This is, and so this is why I tell you the vibration is so important. That's how come we get to, they call it quantum entanglement. That's what they call it, quantum physics. It's the law Call it what it really is so that it makes sense to you. But again, I'm not a scientist, so I can't break it down as science, but I can tell you what it is by way of law. When you are seeking, you will find, because that's the vibration you are on. This is why in the Hermetica it tells you the ears are sealed unless you're ready to hear. Your ears will remain sealed unless you're ready to hear, because that's not the vibration you're on. That's why you can speak to someone and they not hear you. You're speaking, but they can't hear you. It's not because they're deaf, because their vibration is not one of seeking. This is why you cannot cast your pearls before swine. You can't just go out there and teach it to everybody, because the vibration is not a match. That's why if you're in a relationship, this is family, friends, it doesn't matter, and you feel like you're hitting your head against the wall, take a moment and assess the vibrations that you are in contact with. If they're not a match, you have two choices: raise or lower. So if you want to be around them and you have to lower your vibration, you better check yourself, because now you open yourself up. This is why here's that word, compromise. We compromise and lower ourselves because we don't want to be lonely. We don't want to be alone. We don't want to not have friends. But what if you raised your vibration? Well, now you have a different caliber of friend and you're not lonely anymore. So you see, recognize fear when you see it. Oh, well, I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be single forever. So then you're willing to compromise and lower yourself, your vibrational self. That's what you're lowering, your vibrational self. But what if you raised your vibrational self? Now, the quality of relationships that come into your sphere can be only the best. Why? Because as within, so without. You cannot change the exterior without first changing the thought that created it. I ain't gonna preach no more. I just want to make sure that you understand what we're dealing with when we talk about vibration. Everything moves, nothing stands still. The wall behind me looks like a solid wall, but actuality, it is just light waves that have come to form a cohesive unit. That is all it is. And that is all our experiences are. A bunch of light waves that have come together to form the experience we have created here. So if we remember that, change your thought. If you can't change the thought, remember thought, word, action. Go backwards, act so that you can speak and you will generate the thought. It starts and ends with thought, either way you look at it, because it's a mental creation, right? Does that make sense today? If you have questions, ask so we can expand upon things so that they make more sense, so that when you go out into the world, you can be in it, but not of it. Ask, you ponder. It does. I'm here. I have time. Huh? No, I muted myself so you guys could ask questions.
Oh, I thought you was on YouTube too. So when you go on mute, we can't hear what you say.
No, I'm on YouTube too.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. But I just ask. If you have questions, feel free to ask them, and because this will always be a private. This YouTube link will always be private. Only invite is to that thing, So Bishop, go ahead.
I have a question, but I really appreciate this. I mean, all of it, but that really helped me when you explained about the relationship. Like, will you, lower yourself? Like, you have to kind of compromise a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself in that position because I really love the person, but apparently it feels like I've outgrown them. And I was at a standstill, like, what should I do? Should I keep trying or should I? So this really helps me today, and I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome, Bishop. I like that word you used, outgrown. The vibration is different. That's what happened. The vibration is different. You see it? It is. Some days, when I tell you, this is why I get up in the morning and I do what I do as early as I do. There is no reward. There isn't one, right? There is simply a matter of we have fallen this far as a people because we've forgotten the law. And now, in order to get back where we should be, we need to be reminded of it.
Angela, I'm about to say, isn't our feeling good the reward though?
In some aspects, you can say that, but sometimes if you train yourself to I do this, I feel good, then you want to use your emotions for what they were meant for, to show you where you are vibrationally, not to manipulate you to perform in a particular way. If you're going to ask away, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
If you're going to do something according to law, right? Because I'm gonna give you the example. When you're training your puppy, you have the treat either in your hand or your pocket. The puppy doesn't care what you want it to do, so long as it has the reward, which is the treat. So if the feeling better is the treat, right? Sometimes you can condition yourself to do something, unsavory, but it feels good, right? So you want to put yourself in a position where you do according to law. You say, okay, according to law, I'm down here. I want to be up here. And as soon as you make that decision, you go up there. You just do, because that's the design. But if we give way and we train ourselves to have the reward, this is where now we are learning dopamine. That's what we're learning. We have to have that 8 seconds of satisfaction, or else we don't feel good. Go ahead now, Oracle Treehouse.
I see what you're saying. That makes total sense.
Yeah. Because it is.
You don't want to become addicted to it, because that's how addictions form.
Use the right word. Habit. An addiction is a habit. And a habit is a thought, word, or action that you do consistently. See, so if you learn to raise and lower the vibration at will, not based upon a reward, but based upon the knowledge that, you know what? If I stay down there, I'm bringing illness to myself. You know what? I prefer health. And you turn your mind and your thoughts toward healthy things. There's no necessarily a reward. It is just a matter of recognizing where you want to be and to go there. If I say to you, go here and I'll give you this, that's why you're not rewarded, and that's why you're not punished, so that you will go of your own volition, not because you are enticed to go. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the beauty of what we've been given, and this is why when we use scripture or we use the word God, when we use that word, what's the first thing we think of with God? God punishes. According to scripture, God rewards. You have to do what you are told to do to get the prize. You want to walk through the pearly gates, then you have to behave a certain way. So that's why I tell you sometimes, recognize what you're being told. If you have to do this to get, now this is why cause and effect is there. Cause and effect, it tells you if you do this, that will happen. Act accordingly. Choose wisely. Choose the outcome. You are always in a state of control. You are in a state of sovereign control when you use the law. Because when you say, okay, cause and effect, what do I want to happen? How do I want my life to go? You get to decide right here because it's a mental universe. But if somebody comes along and says to you, you want to be over here, well, I have this carrot. Dance for me, poor boy, and you'll get it. You're being manipulated. The law does not manipulate you. It simply says, you are creating your world as you think. So if you like the experiences you're having, continue as you are. If you do not like the experiences you're having, change the way you think. It doesn't beat you. It doesn't do anything to you, but it puts you square in the driver's seat. You are accountable. That's another word we like to throw around. Accountability. You can't force accountability. You must learn it. Nobody can make you accountable. You have to look at your life and examine it and say, is this what I want? If it is not, then I must act accordingly. Does that make sense? I just got a DM. Give me one. This is a DM right here on Fanbase, so I know what they're asking me. But think about that. I can hear you. Go ahead and ask your questions or your comments. Um,
I don't have any questions. It makes sense to me.
and that's sometimes I know that, like I say, it can be a challenge. But what is important to you, right? That is what should drive you. That is what should drive you. To know that you are in alignment with what governs you. We cannot escape the law. But if you line yourself up with it, line yourself up with the law, and your whole world opens before you, and you are driving it. That, ah, I trust that makes sense to you today. I trust it makes sense for you today because I don't know everything. I don't know anything. I just know the law. And I can't even say I know them as in, but I know them, and I do my best to stay as close to them as possible. right? Like it's just one of those things. And practice. That's what we can do. Practice raising, and not necessarily lowering, but if you raise, you lower too, right? But your focus is on raising. But to practice raising the vibration, you find that thing you enjoy doing and you do it. You do it all day for as long as you can in different intervals, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, an hour. Just do it. And the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And the easier it becomes, now it's a habit, it's on autopilot, and you walk around and you're like, I see where my vibration is, and I'm not going down there. And so you don't get pulled into things. So there you have it. That is our class today on the law of vibration. And you know where to find me. You know, if you have questions, I'll be here. The next class will be in the new year after surgery. I don't know which law I'm going to pick yet, but I got the 7 to choose from. Go ahead, Bishop.
Good luck with that, too. I literally just had a hysterectomy about a month ago. And I'm feeling much better now. So, Godspeed.
Can you DM me your phone number? Can I call you?
Yeah, sure.
Please and thank you, because I got some questions. Okay. I got some questions for you.
I'm open to it. I'll do it now.
Yes, please. I got some questions for you. Oh wow. See, look at that. Coincidence? There aren't any coincidences.
Okay. None at all.
Right? Not a coincidence at all. And my bestie, she said to me, Angela, you're just always so private all the time. She goes, how can people relate to you if you don't open up and tell them about yourself? And I'm like, what do they need to know? They don't need to know anything about me. She's like, that's your problem. And for me, it's just, she's like, the way you grew up. She's like, for all intents and purposes, you should not have had an easy life based on how you grew up. She's like, nobody knows that about you. And I'm like, yeah, but if you're going to reminisce on the good things, not the bad things. She's like, just consider what I said. And I was like, fine. So here we are, right? With vulnerability. But it is just one of those things, and when the time is right for one to be vulnerable, they will be. So it's not anything that one can force. It just is a matter of not even when the time is right, because it's not time, it's rhythm. When it's time to lean back with the ebb, you do that. When it's time to move forward with the flow, you do it. You see, that's the difference between being ruled by your emotions. We're just all over the place. But if we go with rhythm, you'll know when to act and when to stand still, when to speak and when to be silent. You'll know, because you will feel the vibration of it. Oh, Lord have mercy. Anyhow, I shan't keep you because it's a lot to take in, but it will make sense when you move and practice with it. Right? I trust that makes sense.
Yes, it makes sense. I love that you actually show us different ways to think about things. And who knew an hour and a half could go by so fast? I could listen to you all day.
Summer Rose, don't make me cry. No, but I didn't feel that hour and a half either. I didn't feel that. Just, but that's what it is. And so I'm going to slide into DMs and start sending out this link to the people who, because I don't know how I mucked it up on YouTube, but I know it's there because it's recording right now. So I'll send out that link, and but the people who were here were meant to be here because that is the vibrational match. And so, because there aren't any coincidences. So like I say, if you need me, I got time. Just slide into my DMs. If you know of someone who is vibrationally ready and they want to, then like I said, I'm here. And so
Angela.
Yes.
Off topic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know anything about Qigong?
Indeed.
Oh, I'm calling you. Okay.
Qigong is beautiful. It really, really is. And the part of traditional Chinese medicine, because, you know, when I tell you there are no coincidences, there aren't any. I had no idea why I even went to school for the 5 years and graduated with a doctorate in traditional Chinese medicine. Because it wasn't that it was the medicine that intrigued me. It was something that caught my attention partway through that made me finish. It was the Yellow Emperor and his one simple phrase: a doctor cannot heal the body, a doctor must heal the mind. That was his phrase, right? So when he said that, I was like, wait, tell me more. And so that's how I started to treat people. And so then a funny thing happened when you have to write your licensing exam. I didn't pass my licensing exam so that I could legally practice acupuncture in my province. I didn't pass it, and I didn't rewrite it because I saw what was happening. Because some people, they wrote it and they didn't pass, and all they did was complain, and they got their license. Like literally, they complained. They didn't even, I'm not even going to go there, but cause and effect. I needed to come down this road in my life. I needed to come down this road in my life in order to meet you with Qigong and Tai Chi and herbal medicine. I needed to be here. Right? But go ahead, Oracle Treehouse.
Well, like I said, I'm practicing. I'm practicing Qigong. I noticed that a lot of people who are practicing, they're not actually like talking about what it's all about. And Qigong talks about the mind. It puts the mind and the movement, all of that together, and it makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Oh my God, everything that you just said today. So, yeah, I love this. Mm-hmm.
But you know why it fits? Because it puts you in a state of oneness, because that is the only state to be in. You move the mind and the body at the same time because they're not separate. But we have separated it. We say we have mind, body, spirit. We have conscious, subconscious, superconscious. No. But Qigong teaches you to hold the entity as one. That's why. That is why it is so important. And this is because they knew the law back in the day. That's why you can see what's there, Miss Ravioli. I'll send you the link for the replay on YouTube. But I'm glad that you're here. So let me recap real quick in 5 minutes or less how we raise and sustain our vibration. So even though you were born into a particular family with a particular vibrational set point, a way of thinking, a way of feeling, you do not have to stay there. And you can elevate yourself vibrationally by thinking or doing something that makes you feel better in your body, because that's your indicator as to where your vibration is. So that clue, because your body speaks, right? It communicates. It's a two-way street, a transmitter. So it tells you this is a low vibration or this is a high vibration. Where do you want to be? So wherever you have practiced being, and how do you know? Because you keep doing the same thing over. So if you practice being at a low vibration, you're going to choose that vibration habitually. So to break out of that habit, you practice a higher vibration. So you find the thing that you enjoy doing, and you do it, and you do it, and you do it However long you can, there's 24 hours in a day. If you can do it for 10 hours, 5 hours, 2 hours, do it. Because now you're practicing a new way to be vibrationally. And so the longer you practice sustaining that vibration, now that is how you can raise your vibration at will. That is your recap. So I will send out this link. I think I should have your guys' emails. If I do not, send it to me in a DM and I will send you this link on YouTube. So you can always go back to this link and replay it and generate more questions if you have them, or a deeper understanding of the law of vibration. Yes? So if that makes sense to you,
Yeah.
let me know. Yolanda, you've been quiet.
I'm sorry?
You've been quiet.
Oh, yeah, I'm cooking dinner.
What you making?
I have Parmesan chicken, potatoes, and balsamic Brussels sprouts.
Oh, hallelujah. Now that sounds
Yeah.
lovely. Chicken parmesan. Oh, hello. See?
Yes.
Uh-huh. See,
Oh
that's
my God, I'm cooking it up.
right. See, there you go. That's another thing too, right? When you eat, if you look at your food and you say, oh my God, that's so bad for me, that's so unhealthy for me, oh dear, what vibration did you just put your food at? But if you cook your food with pleasure, you cook your food with enjoyment, you've raised the vibration of your food. And because you've raised the vibration of your food, when you ingest your food, you now raise your vibration also. This is how you can imbue things like talismans, where you can make a particular stone to do something, a gem like a rose quartz, all those kinds of things. Those vibration. It's not the thing that has the power, but it is you who imbues it with your vibrational imprint that causes it to function. So the next time you enjoy a meal, take your time to chew it, taste it, smell all the fragrances. Because like if you enjoy cooking, you ever had somebody say to you, oh my God, this was like the best meal I ever had? Or somebody says, oh, I ate that and I was like, ew. It's not that it tasted bad, I just felt funny eating it. That food has been imbued by the person who cooked it with their vibrational imprint. This is bigger than you understand. The water. This is why the water holds the memory. It's the vibration. It's not the memory, it's the vibrational imprint that's been left in the water. You see, that's why if you speak to water in a healthy way, you can drink that water and you'll be healthy. But if you speak death to the water and you drink it, well, then, you see what I'm saying to you? Look at how far-reaching vibration goes. So the next time you go somewhere, I want you to remember what vibration you're bringing into that space. Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yeah. I'm definitely practicing being more mindful about things. So, like, if I'm eating food or anything like that, I try to just focus on what it is I'm doing and not what I'm, like, about to do.
Yes.
If that makes sense. Just focus on, like, being in the moment. So I've been really practicing that lately.
Yes. Because when you practice being right here and right now, you know what you're doing? You've put the subconscious mind at rest because you're making the decisions now. But if you're allowing a memory to govern what you do, you are on autopilot. So being mindful, meaning you are conscious of what you're doing. I'm chewing this right now and it tastes so good. Your subconscious mind is now just taking in information, and it's not just, you're not accepting information from it to rule you. You're not on unconscious autopilot. So yes, that is a beautiful thing. Oracle Treehouse?
I was just agreeing.
Yeah, so that's a very beautiful place to start, by being mindful of what you're doing. Because anytime you recall a memory and you act from that memory, you've drawn it from your subconscious mind and you are on autopilot. So if you're going to draw a memory, it better be a memory that is relevant to right here and right now. That's why those things are important, right? And I know it seems like a lot, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. And you live your life from a place of alignment with the law. And then there's nothing that you cannot, because when you speak, when you say it is so, then it has to be so. Because that's where your vibration is. So now you, because you've used the law of gender to project it, that light wave now has to take form, that you tell it to take form, and it comes right back to you. That's why you can seek ye first the kingdom, and all these things shall be added unto you. It's not about just repeating a mantra or an affirmation. It is an understanding of where you are in alignment with the law that governs you. That is what it is. So I leave you with that. I'm going to go check your DMs now, and I will respond to people as quickly as I can. And I'll be here. I'll be here. I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to cook today. It depends on what the young man wants. Mom, can you make me this? So I'll make what he wants to eat, because that's how it is. Maybe I'll call my mother. Today's a nice day. And maybe she will want to cook me something. Oh, dear. There's an idea. I just might. I just might.
That sounds nice.
I know, right? I should call her. I just shouldn't presume. But she loves to cook, so I just let her be in her element. But I love you guys, and thank you for being here today and spending your time with me. And thank you for allowing me to be vulnerable. And I just appreciate you. Thank you. And I trust you will practice. Right? So, yeah.
Ma'am.
There you go. All right. Countdown. Countdown initiated. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Much love. Much, much love.